Welcome to Winter Warmers Week 4 home workout. We're going to go back to doing just 2 sets today, a warm-up set, and then our working set's going to have 6 exercises in it. Some more core and coordination things in our workout today. Let's get into it. Okay, so first up we're going to do a single leg balance. To start off with, you might feel like you can't balance with your eyes shut at all, but I promise you it is possible and that you will get better with practice. I recommend getting barefoot and doing a few toe exercises first. It's going to help send the message from your brain to your feet that you want them to switch on and start working, and it will help you with your balance a lot. So trying to spread all of your toes out, trying to lift your big toes up only, the rest of your toes up only, trying to lift them all up and then going down, pinky, second toe, all the way down, piano toes we call that. See if you can do those things with your feet. If you can't, with just the muscles in your toes, you can actually come down and physically move your toes around, spread them out with your fingers, pull them up and down. This is still going to get the message going from your brain to your toes to switch on. Then from there, you're just going to stand on one leg. You can use your arms as much as you need to, or you can have them behind your back. After about 10 or 15 seconds, if you feel like you're mastering it, you can try and shut your eyes. The moment that you shut your eyes and you can't use your visual system to help you with your balance anymore, you're going to be working a lot harder now through your feet and ankles, knees, and even up into your hip. Balance is a great way to strengthen your glutes and all of the ligaments surrounding your knees, hips, and ankles. You can see the micro adjustments that my leg is making to keep me balanced. And that is really healthy and really great for you. Try to do about a minute. So I just count in my head up to 60 or so, and then change feet and do the other side. Start eyes open, feel good about it, arms, no arms, and then when you're ready, try and close your eyes and see how you go. Next up, we're going to be doing 4 inchworms. We're going to start them with our arms up above our head. We're going to do a spinal roll down. We're going to walk our hands all the way forwards. We're going to try and go past a plank position so your arms are all the way out. Walk it back in, bend your knees, and spinal roll back up. Inchworms can be a little bit annoying. They're not very many people's favorite exercise, but they're a great one to put in your warm-up because you're using so many parts of your body. Shoulders, stretching out the hamstrings on the way down, working the chest as you go forward with your arms. Your tummy should be held nice and tight, back nice and flat. So we're really activating lots of our body. Our feet are getting a warm up as well. Make sure that when you're in your plank position, that your back is nice and flat. You want to squeeze your tummy up towards the ceiling and try to walk your hands further forwards than your shoulders. This is a full inchworm. I'm right up on my tippy toes. I'm extended. My tummy's up. My spine is a little bit rounded so that I'm not dropping my hips down at all. And then I bend my knees as much as I need to, flatten my heels to the ground before I roll back up. We're going to do that 4 times. Our third and final warm-up exercise for this week is a squat calf raise. We're going to do 10 of these. You're going to squat down nice and low, tap your fingertips to the floor, and then we're going to reach up. Our arms go overhead as we stand up. Squeeze your bottom and then rise up onto your tippy toes. So feet are hip width apart, toes pointing straight forwards, down, up, reach up overhead, rise up onto your tippy toes. Make sure that the knees are tracking over the toes and the toes are pointing straight forwards. Most people are going to want to turn your feet out because you've got tight calves. We want to try and bring those feet in parallel. Feet are just wider than your hips. Use your elbows on the way down to push your knees out to the sides. I'm using my elbows here to make sure that my knees are out where I want them to be. Stand all the way up, tippy toes, and back down. My heels touch the ground before I start the squat. So it's 2 movements, a squat and a calf raise. We combine them together. Try not to do the squat on your toes and try not to come up on your toes. Wait till you're fully standing, then do the calf raise. Up and down 10 times. So there are our 3 warm-up exercises. Single leg balance, both sides. 4 inchworms and 10 squat calf raises. Repeat that at least twice or for a 3rd round if you want to. Up to you. Give it a go. All right, into our working set. Exercise number 1 of 6. We are going to do reverse plank twists. We are going to try and do 20 of these. If you have bad wrists, you might struggle. You can do it sitting on your bottom. Otherwise, you're trying to keep your butt off the floor, reaching one hand over towards the other, side to side, alternating each time. Twisting as much as you can. It's a great stretch for the spine as well as working the core and the shoulders. You can, if you want to make it harder, lift one foot up off the floor as well. Easiest option, butt on the ground. Harder option, butt off the ground. Hardest option, same leg as direction you're twisting, off the ground. So now you only have 2 points of contact with the floor. Twist side to side as far as each direction as you can, 20 of those. Working set, exercise number 2, we're going to stand back up. We're going to do 20 curtsy lunges alternating sides. You can do this body weight, or if you've got dumbbells, kettlebells, beans, wine, handbag, anything at home, you can hold 1 in each hand, or you can hold 1 weight up underneath your chin. It doesn't matter which way you do it, whatever's easiest for you to hold. For this one, you need to make sure that your feet are turned out. I know that for some things we go make sure it's parallel, but for curtsy lunge, you want to turn your feet slightly out to the side. Everyone's going to have different turnout, so don't feel like you've got to be a prima ballerina and get your feet to go right out to the sides, because if your feet go out, your knees need to go all the way out as well. And most people don't have that much turnout. You'll end up with your feet going out to the sides, but your knees going forwards, and you'll put a lot of pressure on the inside of your knee. So just turn them out to wherever feels comfortable for you, and you cross your legs over. You take your foot back and across, but you've got to try and keep your hips to the front of the room. If you have a mirror, this is one that's really great to do in front of the mirror, because most people will take their leg across and immediately turn their hips over to the side. But you're going to get the most activation through the outside of your quads, which is where we're trying to work, if you can manage to keep your hips front on and just be crossing the legs side to side. So this is an exercise for the outside of our thighs. We're going to do 10 on each leg, with or without weight. Working set, exercise number 3, we're going to come back down onto the floor. We're going to do a pretty challenging exercise called Dish to Superman. So we're going to be working our core and our lower back quite a lot for this exercise. I would recommend putting a timer on your watch or your phone and seeing how long you can do it for. Or you can count up how many reps you think you can do, rather than me setting an amount for you, because everyone's going to be really different here. You're going to draw your belly button down towards the floor, have your arms by your ears, and your feet up off the ground. So the only thing touching the floor is your lower back. Shoulders are rounded, arms are up, legs are up, nice and strong. You're going to draw your belly button in towards your spine and flip yourself over so that you're on your tummy without letting anything touch the floor except your tummy and your side. So your feet don't touch the ground, your head, your arms, nothing touches the floor. We're going straight from that full dish, rounded position, flipping over into a Superman position, working the lower back and the butt and the hamstrings to keep the feet up off the floor. And you're just going to, if you've got a nice big amount of space, flip over in the same direction a few times, and then flip back the other way a few times. If you don't have as much space, you can just flip over onto your right, back into the middle, then to your left and back into the middle. Up to you. Give it a go. Even though it's a challenge, it's also a little bit of fun. All right, exercise number 4, and I have just realized there's only 5 exercises in this working set, not 6. So this is our second last exercise. It's a little bit of a challenge. We're going to pick up the weights that we used before for our curtsy lunges, and we're going to do a forwards alternating wide lunge. Now, if you can't wrap your head around the coordination for this exercise, you definitely can just do a normal forward stepping alternating lunge. For a wide lunge, what you want to do, you want to start with your feet outside your hips and pointing straight forwards. It's kind of the position that you would be for a wide stance squat. Then from here, you're going to step your foot forwards, and now I have a big gap between my front foot and my back foot. A normal lunge, I would be in line. We're doing a wide lunge. It's important not to turn this front foot out to the side, because then you're just doing a normal lunge to the side. The benefit of doing it wide stance is that we're going to work these inner thigh muscles more. You really feel the stretch on the back leg as you come down for that inner thigh stretch. This is really good exercise to do on a yoga mat, because you can put your feet out on the outside edges of the yoga mat, and as you step forwards, you can keep your foot on the outside edge of the yoga mat, and you can check that your foot is running along the outside edge. You'll be able to tell very easily if you've turned your foot out or if you haven't kept your feet out wide enough. The yoga mat is a great parameter for where your feet should be. Or floorboards, if you've got them at home. Not quite as good as a yoga mat, but you can pick 2 floorboards for your feet to be on and then run them along. At home, at the gym, it's obviously very easy for me to use the lines on the ground. Remember, if it's too confusing, if you don't feel like you're doing it properly, you're worried about the technique, you can just stick with a normal, narrow, forwards alternating lunge. With or without weights, we're going to do 20 reps, 10 on each leg. So our last, number 5, exercise in our working set is everyone's favorite burpees with a push-up at the bottom. So we're only going to do 5 or 6 reps of this. I'll leave it up to you to decide how many you want to do. You can jump like a normal burpee into a plank position and do the push-up on your toes, making sure your hands are underneath your shoulders and you're getting down nice and low. Aim to get to your nose to the floor. If that's too high impact for you, or you can't do a push-up on your toes, we've always got the option to make burpees easier. Pop your hands on the ground, step back into a plank 1 foot at a time, drop your knees to the ground to do the push-up, then pop back up onto your toes, step your feet back in 1 at a time, and then just stand up without the jump. That's our easiest variation that everyone should be able to do, even if it's a little bit slow and challenging. Everyone can do that option. Otherwise, we're going to jump nice and high on the way up, jump it back, push up, jump it in, jump it back up again, really getting the heart rate up, working the core, working the chest, working the legs, nice and fast. Good one to finish off our working set. You've earned a break after this. That's the end of our 5 exercise working set. You want to work through that 3 times. And then that will conclude our winter warmer at home workout for week number 4. Good job.